energy that we need and we need to harness, not just to protect our country, but to drive our communities forward in the way that we believe they should be going. I want to be really clear, and I'm not here to talk about federal issues, but I want to be really clear for a moment. We are watching an attempted takeover of our country happening before our eyes. That is happening right now. And it is incumbent upon every single one of us to open our eyes, watch the news, see the hardship, be uncomfortable in what is happening at the national level, because we have to be angry. We have to be angry. We have to harness that into progress. While the federal government is undercutting science and trying to make it harder for people to be healthy in this country and get the care that they need, we have to rally and say no and elect leaders who believe in science and that healthcare is a right for everyone. While we are watching an absolute assault on our public protected lands, on our environment and our natural resources, we have to stand up and say protecting this planet is one of the most important things that we can do so that we have a planet for generations to live on, because that is our responsibility in this moment. And in New York, we are fighting that right now. We are making sure that we protect our lands, that we have a renewable energy supply, and that we are standing up against the attacks from the federal government that are trying to pressure us here in our state to fold to fossil fuel interests and infrastructure. We don't believe that. We want cheap, renewable energy to lower our bills and to make sure that we have a planet to live on in the future. That's what we believe in as Democrats, and that's the work that we are doing. And we have to make sure that we have partners at every level of government to work together, to work in partnership against the attacks that we're seeing at the federal level. Just today, there was a massive raid in a plant in Western New York, Central New York, that took over 40 of our most vulnerable and undocumented community members out of their jobs and left kids alone when they got off the bus to their homes. That's happening in New York right now. That is unconscionable. We have to make sure that we have local law enforcement that will stand up against that and not work with that kind of, unless there's a judicial warrant, but to not use resources. And you know who that is for Columbia County? That is Jackie Salvatore. That is someone that we need to make sure to stand up for our rights as people, to protect our communities and to protect everyone in our communities and make sure that we are all treated equal and fairly. Someone who leads with justice. That is who Jackie is, and that is who's on the ballot here in Columbia County. Boy, does that make me excited. That makes me excited to work for her. And for a long time, Democrats have undervalued our court systems. We have undervalued our judges. We have not prioritized making sure that we have a deep bench of people in the judicial system. And yet we've seen the other party fight like hell for decades to put people at every level of the judicial system. We have to make sure that Will Little is sitting in the New York State Supreme Court, because the judicial system is what is fighting back against the tyranny coming from the federal government right now. And Will Little will be a part of that when we get him to that bench. And when we look across our communities, and when we at the state level are forced with really difficult, painful decisions solely because of choices from the Trump administration, we need supervisors and town board members and town council members who will stand with us, who will be creative in their thinking, who will want to protect community members at the local level. And those are the folks who are running here. We need good supervisors to work with, not folks who will roll over and use taxpayer dollars to keep themselves in power. We need people who are actually going to work for the people, and we have an incredible slate of town supervisors and council members in this room right now running for Columbia County. So I know that there is a lot happening right now on many issues I have not touched on, and more that we could talk for hours about. But it is so important that we harness the energy that is here in this room, that is happening when you're sitting on your couch and you're angry and you're beside yourself saying, how did we get here? Let me tell you what, Columbia County won't let it get any further. Columbia County will make sure that we have good, strong leaders up and down the ballot representing us, our interests, the people's interests in the fight against what's happening at the federal level. And that makes me really excited to get out and knock some doors, including tomorrow in Ghent. By the way, we're knocking doors tomorrow in Ghent. We'll be walking, I'll be walking. I think it's gonna rain, I'll still be walking. That is what we need to do, because when we flip these seats and we win these races this year, that sends a very strong message to everyone paying attention that we are watching. It is unacceptable, we do not support it, and we will stand up to fight for our rights and the rights of New Yorkers and everyone across this country, because that's who we are as Democrats. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being a part of this fight and for being in this moment. Thank you for knocking doors in advance for Will and Jackie and all of the slates in your town. I will be with you standing shoulder to shoulder, and I really appreciate all of the work you're doing. Thank you so much.